Here are your ingredients: lemon juice and zest, whole milk 5 tablespoons, that's 1/3 cup, cilantro and fresh tarragon, followed by 1 egg, olive oil, a can of sweet corn, and 1 sweet red pepper. We also have fresh habanero chili, 1 cup of plain yogurt, half cup of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a green onion. Alright, now we're going to start out with the flour, man, and we're going to put it through a strainer, okay? We're going to make sure that we eliminate all the lumps, alright? If not, it's going to damage the dish there, alright? So yeah, we're just going to start banging it here and just make sure it goes through the strainer nice and smooth. And just before you reach the end there, as you can see, I'm going to add the baking powder. Shift that through. Now I'm going to use 1 egg. Crack that in there. I'm going to use 5 tablespoons of whole milk. That's about 1/3 cup. You could use 2%, but I prefer whole milk instead. And I'm going to whisk that through and make sure I get it nice and mixed all together. You see, just about a minute of whisking. Okay, the batter is going to look like cake batter. That's how you want it, okay? Nice and creamy. Now I'm going to drizzle it with some olive oil, about half a teaspoon or so. Okay, this will actually lighten it up, like air it, okay? And give it a nice thorough whisk. As you can see, it's still nice and creamy. That's how you want it, okay? Now it's velvety. Now I got my red sweet peppers, chili peppers, okay? And I'm going to show you how to easily cut this bad boy, right? Break off the end. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cut straight down the middle. That's in half. Then you're going to cut another half. And then you're going to start cutting them in quarters, okay? Straight down. As you can see here, just with the tip of the knife. Okay? Very simple. Now what you're going to see is, see, it's kind of like a little fan, all evenly. Then just hold it together, put it on your board, and start chopping. Simple. There you have it, nice and chopped. Throw it inside with the mix. Next here we have our habanero chili, right? And you're just gonna chop that up too, okay? Loosen up a little bit and just chop it up, okay? Nothing fancy. Now what I have here is fresh tarragon, so I'm just gonna peel them off the stem and get to chopping those up too. Just a quick, simple chop, chop, chop. Okay, nothing fancy. And then put them in the bowl and get ready for mixing. Now I'm going to thoroughly whisk all my ingredients together. Okay, and this is where I add my corn. Now the corn is in the can, is sweet corn. So what I did was I drained it and then I pat it dry to get rid of all the moisture. That's the most important part of this. Then I throw it in the mix. It might take a few paper towels to do so, but you got to get it completely dry and then mix it in. Now this is the mixture that you're looking for. Okay, still nice and creamy. All right, with all the ingredients in there. All right, I'm gonna keep mixing it just a little bit more and we're gonna start putting it in the pan. But before we do so, I got my green onions and I'm gonna chop those up too and get them in the mix. Now I have finally put all the mix together and we're gonna put them in the pan. Now as you can see here, what I did like I normally do, I put the pan on high heat, wait for it to get real hot, then I put it to medium actually, and then I just put olive oil, okay, just enough to coat the pan. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hefty spoonful, okay? And I'm going to put it in the pan. Now watch what I do here because I want you guys to remember this, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go clockwise, okay? So like that, when it's time to flip them over, you know which one to flip first, okay? And then what I do with the back of the spoon, I just flatten it up a little bit, okay? And cook them till they're nice slightly brown. So I want to make sure that I put just 4. I don't want to overcrowd it because what happens is it lowers the heat on your pan. Okay, so now as you see, I flipped them over and nice and golden brown on both sides. That's exactly what you're looking for. Okay, and I'm just going to put them on a cloth towel. Don't put on a paper towel because what's going to happen is it's going to soak up the paper towel and you're going to find yourself scraping off paper towel off your fritters. Now we're going to go with the dip. So I'm going to pour like a half cup of plain yogurt, and then I'm just going to start chopping up some cilantro. Okay, maybe about a handful. We're looking at maybe a 1/4 cup. Now I have here some more tarragon. Okay, so I'm going to use that for the dip and start chopping that up also. Now I'm going to take a little slice of a lime and just pour some in there. So now I'll give myself a thorough whisk here, and I'm going to throw a little bit of pepper, okay, no salt. And then what I want to do next, I want to add some lime zest. That gives it a nice little pop and extra flavor. And finish up my mixing. And now for the plating. And there you have it, folks. Corn fritters with a nice yogurt dipping sauce. Next up, we got a pan-seared scallop with a garlic lemon sauce. Alright, first off, we're going to start off with the scallops, okay? So you got to make sure you pat them dry to eliminate all the moisture. Alright, if not, then, you know, it's going to make a mess in the pot when it starts to pop on you. Alright, we're going to start off with a few here. We're going to have the heat high. Okay, make sure it's smoking. Okay, and then we're going to be generous with the salt. Okay, as you can see. Add some pepper. So I'm actually going to turn the heat up from medium to high. I want to raise up the temperature, okay, and get it for it to be piping hot before I throw in my scallops. Now I'm going to drizzle some olive oil, just enough to coat the pan. Okay, now that the pan is nice and hot, I'm going to start throwing in my scallops clockwise. Once again, you see how it's nice and popping there, okay? That's how hot you want it. Clockwise, so you can know which one to flip over first and what follows. At this point is where I lower the heat back down to medium and start the cooking process. So as you can see, as I'm flipping them over, they're nice and golden brown. Okay, and this is the color that you want. Okay, now that I have flipped them over, is where I add my butter. Okay, the butter is gonna sear and shut the pores, locking in the flavor, and also give it a nice texture at the same time. And this is where you want to take a spoon and start to baste it. Okay, that prevents the top layer that's exposed to the air from drying up. Okay, and maintain its color. Continue this process until the bottom is cooked the way it's supposed to, which I'll show you. Now I have executed my scallops and got them in the color that I want them on both ends. Okay, you see how translucent it is in the middle? It looks like an Oreo cookie. That's how you need to get it. Okay, okay, like I said, nice and golden brown on both sides. Alright, and just throw them on a cloth towel here. Look, I'm showing you again. See how nice and translucent it is in the middle? Okay, and golden brown on both sides. That's how you want your scallops. Now setting the scallops to the side, using the same oil in the same pan, I'm going to start cutting up some mushrooms. Okay, and all the little bits of scallops that was in the pan, I'm leaving it there, keeping the heat on medium. So I'm going to chop these up and throw them in there. Chopping them up fine. Okay, now just go throw them in the pan real quick. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to get some garlic. Okay, and instead of chopping them up, because I don't want to bite into bits of garlic, I'm actually going to grate it, shred it here. And what it would do is it would liquefy into the sauce, so you still get that garlic taste, but you won't bite into a garlic. Okay, so as you can see, the garlic is grated. You see it? So that's what you want to put in the pot. Okay, and give it a nice little stir. And start cooking the mushrooms straight down until they're fully cooked. Now my mushroom has been cooked and the garlic liquefied. And here is when I throw about 2 tablespoons of butter. And get that a stir until the butter is completely mixed in with the rest of the ingredients. As you can see, the butter is liquefying itself. And it's starting to become a little creamy. As you can see, I got some pasta boiling on the side there. It's because I know I'm going to have extra sauce. So that's going to be an added bonus there. Alright? Now it's time to put in some heavy cream. About 1/3 cup. And start giving that a little mix. As you can see, it's starting to come together now. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up into a simmer before I start my plating. But now what I want to add just a tad of lemon juice, freshly squeezed. And now for my plating. And there you have it, folks. Pan-seared scallop with a lemon garlic sauce. Respect the food. Hey, I almost forgot. Remember that extra sauce I had? So here I'm going to do. I'm just going to have that pasta that I cooked and just throw it in there. Mix it up. Throw in a couple of scallops real quick while the heat is off. Toss that into the mix and start my plating. Now you have regular spaghetti with that garlic and lemon butter sauce with pan-seared scallops. Second meal. Can't go wrong. A 2-for-1. A little bit of lemon zest on this one. And we're all set to go. Alright, let's begin with the soup. Alright, first we start with the white onion. And we give it a couple of slices straight down the middle. Because we're going to begin to dice them. Now we're just going to stack them. And start cutting them. You see I'm chopping them up nice and neat and get ready to put them in the pan. Now I have the onions in the pot cooking, and I've taken bacon, a bunch of them, and cut them into pieces like cubes. Now I'm going to throw those in there and start the cooking process on that. Now I'll take some fresh garlic. Okay, and 4 of them, and cut those into small little slices there. Now I'm going to mince the garlic and throw it into my Dutch oven. Alright, so what I have here is a leek. Okay, so I'm just going to take off the waxy layer there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut it straight through the middle, like that. Then cut the other side like that. It's like I have 4 even sides, as you can see. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that up and I'm going to run that under the water to get rid of all the grit and the grud and the dirt that's in there before I start cutting. So now the leek has been washed off, and I'm just going to cut them into small little pieces, okay? Just so. Alright, it's all cut up. Into the Dutch oven it goes. Give that a nice mix. Make sure that the bacon and the onions and the leeks, they all get into that bacon fat and they all start to cook very nicely together. So now I'm just going to cut up like 4 potatoes, alright, into medium-sized chunks there, and get them ready to get mixed into the pot also. Like so. So now I have everything in this pot here, okay, and I'm just gonna start mixing it all up, get them all infused. Make sure I keep stirring it occasionally because I want to prevent the bacon from sticking to the bottom and everything else. Now I'm gonna throw in my potatoes and give that a little stir. Alright, so what I need you to do is I need you to focus on the bacon, okay? When your bacon is cooked, everything is cooked evenly. So focus on the bacon, make sure the bacon is cooked. Don't worry about everything else. Now everything seems to be cooking nice and uniform. And I'm just going to throw in my mushrooms now and give this a stir. I'm going to throw in about a 1/3 cup of white wine there, okay? Just to give it that steam, give it that flavor, let everything infuse together. Alright, so now we're using fresh corn right off the chuck. Hey guys, if you put the corn inside the microwave for 1 minute, it'll be much easier to peel off the leaf and all the hair that's stuck to it. Alright, so we're using fresh corn for this dish. Now we're going to go with the herbs. Alright, first some cilantro, about a handful, right? Maybe 1/3 of a cup. Chop that up real quick. Then we go with some fresh parsley, about the same amount. Though this one here we'll use about a 1/2 cup. It's actually better. 1/2 cup of parsley and freshly cut, chopped up. Okay, giving that a stir. Everything seems to be cooked in there. Okay, making sure that I loosen up the bottom. And now we just start throwing in my herbs and get that all mixed in. Sorry guys, I didn't realize that a good portion of this video was not recorded, but listen, I added some chicken stock and I added heavy cream to it, and then what I did was I lowered it down and waited it to simmer until it thickens, and now we'll start with my plating. Truly apologize. So it was about 2 cups of chicken stock and a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Okay, covered it and let it simmer okay, until it reduced and it got nicely thick and creamy. Well, my deepest apologies, but there you have it, folks. All right, leeks and potato soup. Enjoy.